basic brain function, and the true spirit of harmony. Through my warrior arts, I see a way, and I want man to come with me. God is in you all, and you seem to push him away. I am sorry that we have trouble communicating. I loved your ancestors more than many of you. The love seems lost at times due to drugging. All the time I feel the burden of responsibility for the safety, especially spiritual safety, of humanity. Man can harmonize through nature, especially birds of prey, or prey, the E or the A. To retard can mean to slow by preventing or hindering advance or accomplishment. We all may conduct light through our bodies with the spirit of righteousness. And to conduct can also mean to lead. So we can lead the light through our bodies and coordinate it, mind, body, and soul, and express it in this world. I believe it is God, but others believe it is something else. I also believe they have a right to that view. This light is the opposite of a lethargic energy that leads to apathy or indifference. So let us truly attempt to define God's speed as a grace-filled harmony and crush the darkness of ignorance as we define the words that refer to what is covering up our awareness. The word ignorant starts with ignore. The root of ignore is in plus nocere. Nocere meaning to know. Retard has to do with tardis. Tardis means slow. It is derived from tardis, re plus tardis. To slow up, especially by preventing or hindering advance or accomplishment. To impede. To delay academic progress by failure to promote. Retard, a holding back or slowing down. Retarded, slow or limited in intellectual or emotional development or academic progress. So you see how there's a link. The environment can retard and make people seem retarded. This has to do with perception and misconceptions. This can be disabled people. This can be genders, races, ethnic groups, nationalities, religions, and the different biases that keep people from allowing others to have a fair shake. Spiritualize, to purify from the corrupting influences of the world. This is really the difference between being ignorant and retarded and having awareness, is to be spiritualized, the missing element, the ingredient that scientists need to be aware of to truly understand human behavior, sociology, the environment, and human interactions, and the relations of between different demographics and so on. Stupid, stupere, to be benumbed or astonished. Slow of mind, lacking reason. Brutish, dulled in feeling or sensation. Torpid, still torpid from the sedative is the example. Still torpid from the sedative. We'll define torpid momentarily. Marked by or resulting from unreasoned thinking or acting. Senseless. And this also has to do with stupor. I'll connect all these words masterfully in a moment. Stupor, a condition of greatly dulled or completely suspended sense or sensibility. Think about the senses and how these relate to martial arts and awareness, and also different forms of spiritual awareness and spiritual activities. A state of extreme apathy or torpor, resulting often from stress or shock. Think about the invasion of Iraq, the shock and awe from the bombing. Okay, so the stupor can be induced by drugs and sedatives, right? It can be induced by shock, shell shock, the shock of a loss of a loved one, etc. Now let's think about how the spirit relates to honing, to focusing. The spirit, you have to hone your ability to focus, and martial arts is one of these ways. This is why this is so important to me, and I get very agitated. To make more acute, intense, or effective. Torpid, having lost motion or the power of exertion or feeling. Torpere, to be stiff or numb. Also from starion, stare. Think about staring off into space, etc. So there are different activities that lead people to conclusions. You could stare off into space as a form of trying to think deeply. You can meditate slowly in motion, sitting down, or you can move at God's speed to try to figure things out. Perhaps these paths are different ways to reach conclusions, but we cannot retard human progress by limiting which paths people use. Perhaps even the terrorists are onto something, but we're on the verge of disregarding their path. And I'm not saying let them kill people, but jihad means a struggle for a principle. So should we wage war on the right to struggle intensely for a principle and quickly disregard it, discard it as extremism? Or should we make a great effort to struggle to understand the principle of freedom and the freedom of religion, and the right to express your religion so that other people may consider it and assign you respect accordingly, perhaps? Apathy, from apathis, without feeling, impassiveness, lack of feeling or emotion, lack of interest or concern. Now you start to see that indifference is related to a state of mind of apathy, a lethargic state of mind, a kind of lazy, kind of stupid, retarded, slow thinking. I don't think quickly enough to realize why it's wrong. I don't put it together. I'm too mindful, and I'm too much like a drugged up sheep to transcend and to appreciate other people's struggles and how they connect to mine and the bigger picture and me being right with my ancestors and the light of God and the spirit of righteousness. Lethargy, lethargos, forgetful. Plus argos, lazy. They say black people are lazy. Well, are they not drugged up? Do they not know who they are? Is it not a matter of not knowing who they are as well? So there are different factors that create behavior, and it's related to the spirit, and it has to do with ignorant, ignore, right? Going back to nocere, to know. Knowledge, what kind of knowledge? Education and intellect alone, or all the knowledge is considered working together to lead us in the proper direction? Abnormal drowsiness, the quality of being lazy, sluggish, or indifferent. On that note, I apologize if you feel that I don't consider your pain or your struggle. I know a lot of people struggle with their various issues, and I am much more aware of them than you think that I am. Than you might think I am. Fight for honor and all that is right. This is my belief system. I cannot do my martial arts or face my Lord without the truth and what is right. And when I do it, the spirit of righteousness refines my understanding and my desire to be right with people and to love people and to come into harmony with people. And when I can't do it, it makes me so bitter, I'd rather cut them all off from the spirit realm. But then I keep pushing. Fate would have it that I come into different states of mind. And the truest state of mind is this kind of martial arts harmony with God's order. I simply ask God to put me wherever is right so that I may do his work to the best of my ability, so I may be right with him, his creator. He's the creator. He's family, and he's the family we should value above all others. He gave us life. He gave us spirit. He gave us direction. Okay, so dumb can also mean lacking the power of speech. They use the example of dumb animals and dumb from birth. Think about deaf, dumb, and blind, and it goes back to senses. So indifference, senses, laziness, productivity, ambition, industriousness, apathy, torpor, did I say lethargy already, being stupid, spiritualizing, retarded, and so on. These things are all connected. Okay, being in a stupor. So you have to understand how drugs affect you. And they use only a few examples when I looked up these words. And some of the examples they used were sedatives and drugs, which make you apathetic. They make you lethargic. Okay? So when it goes to dumb, when I went to dumb, it also means no means of self-proportion. So if you cannot be in line with the Logos, according to my belief system, then you cannot push yourself. If you don't know yourself, and to know yourself is to know God, is to know that light, is to know the spirit of righteousness. Who am I? Am I just a puppet, or do I desire what is right? Do I desire to connect to people on deeper levels and make meaningful relationships with my family, with my community? And part of the problem here is that we don't know each other. They don't know me. I don't know them. I observe them, I study them, but they don't reveal their true selves to me, partially as a result of what's going on in the political environment and in the environment of this nation. Being dumb can be a markedly lacking aspect, to be markedly lacking in intelligence, to make silent, dumbed by the drugs, is a quote from Norman Mailer that they used. So you can be drugged into a stupor. You can be drugged into an apathetic state, a lethargic state. Your reservations and inhibitions can be reduced. You can be drugged in a way that causes adverse effects, and you can have withdrawals from drugs. So people not knowing you and understanding you can lead you to being drugged, which in turn can cause a kind of domino effect in a negative manner, and then cause you to want to lash out on the community when you know that it is something else going on. And, again, this can also be your psychiatrist not knowing you. So when we consider all these things, who am I? Look at me now. I've gone through interesting changes. Who was I before? I was this guy worth loving. I don't know how well you can tell. You look in my eyes in this, you can see that I have a lot of life and love and grace in my eyes. All cockiness aside, I was truly a man to behold. And now a man struggling, probably heading toward the end. I was a man that gave you his heart. And a lot of people started to notice this as they watched my videos. This is from a female arrived after Valentine's Day who, put, "I will always cherish you as a great spirit and a beautiful masculine pharaoh." Okay? And I will always love you in mind, body, and soul. All right? And she's not the only one who has tender feelings toward me because I revealed to this person who I am. So not being given the chance to show people who I am cuts me off from these relationships. Them being put in a state of mind where their receptivity is reduced cuts me off from them. So they become ignorant of me based on their ability to know me and their ability to snap out of things and, consider my view, consider the truth. And since my view is an African view, all cockiness, racialness aside, everything aside, all ulterior motives aside, okay, it is something that resonates with us all. But then again, there are human views from different perspectives. Okay, so people went different ways. And when I get angry, sometimes I become ignorant because I'm blocked off from that knowledge that, yes, people went different ways for different reasons. Some people leave, with a sort of harmony with each other. They go in their direction, the light temple. And some people leave out of indifference. Some people leave out of malevolence. Some people leave because the land was wicked. The various reasons people leave, the various perspectives. So, again, I believe in fighting for honor, and all this is right. This is probably from 2015, maybe 2014. And I think that people need to come together and consider what these words mean. The words testify as to why I'm right and the dangers that we face in the future. I won't always be here, and I am very worried about people's ability to be uncontrolled and do what's right and to network in an effective and responsible and moral manner. So, again, I'd like you to look up for yourself the meanings of retarded, spiritualized, stupid, stupor, torpor, apathy, lethargy, and dumb. And consider these other, what the other definitions say about the definitions that are commonly used. So there are misconceptions related to what it means to be ignorant, what it means to be dumb, what it means to be retarded. And we find that we're all retarded to a certain degree, and we retard other people's progress to a certain degree.